Today on People Now, how Kate Middleton is finding her voice as the future queen. It's in this week's People Cover story.
Kim Kardashian opens up to people about struggling with body insecurities, life as a mom, and her new shapewear line.
Britney Spears reportedly fears losing custody of her sons. What sources are telling People?
Who will make the guest list at J.Lo and A-Rod's wedding? Some famous exes can expect an invite.
Plus,
when you came around, did you see people?
Yes.
Hot off the Goldfinch premiere at the Toronto International Film Festival, Oakes Fegley is here to tell us all about working on the movie alongside Nicole Kidman.
It's all live today on People Now. Let's go.
Hey, happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to People Now. Good to see you. Today, of course, is September 11th. So many people sharing their remembrance and sympathies for people affected by the horrific events of that day.
Yes, here in New York, there are special ceremonies taking place right now at the 9/11 Memorial, the site of the World Trade Center, where the towers fell on September 11th, 2001. So all around the country, people are remembering the victims and their families today.
Yeah, you're seeing there some of our posts. For people that aren't familiar, we are in New York City, down in the area. We're right across the street, actually, from the 9/11 Memorial in the World Trade Center. And so I was posting this morning as I walked through the Oculus, which is now built there in that spot. They had the American flags draped. There's one there. There was one on the opposite end as well. We walk through that every single day, but every year on this day, there's just such a different feeling. There's a sense of reverence and respect being paid for what happened here and how much pain so many people still feel to this day.
Yeah, I mean, normally you get off at the World Trade Center stop, and that was closed today because people are remembering today. There's a lot going down there, but it was kind of crazy because I was walking across outside, saw one World Trade Center, and I was talking to this lady, just a stranger, and she was telling me the story of how her husband was supposed to be at the site that day, but for some reason, he had to take his daughter to school, and his life was spared because of that. Obviously, not everyone's so fortunate, but it was kind of crazy to hear that.
Yeah, and one of the things that happens on this day every year over at the memorial site, every name is read off as part of a ceremony. Every single life that was lost, their name is read, their picture shown on broadcasts here around the city as well as around the country. And it just is a reminder as you see those pictures and those names, real people, real lives, forever shattered. So anyway, we all remember that today, and wherever you are, we hope you'll take a moment of your day to remember that and the horrific events of that day. We have a lot to get to on our show today. We're going to dive right in with this. Shifting gears, Kate Middleton may be settling daughter Princess Charlotte into school, but she is also getting ready for her own important role, future queen. In this week's People Cover story, multiple sources reveal that they have observed a growing confidence in Princess Kate. However, there are still rules that she must follow for becoming queen. Sally Bedell Smith, who is an author of several biographies of Queen Elizabeth, reveals in this week's cover story the 5 most important rules that Kate has to follow. Rule number 1, be humble and discreet. Smith reveals that the Queen is able to do this by only giving speeches, never interviews. She says, quote, the Queen Mother gave one interview the day after she was engaged, and she never gave an interview again. And that way, she can maintain discretion, which is an interesting rule that would maybe be tough to follow these days when media is everywhere and social media is everywhere. Anyway, rule number 2, maintain a consistent style. Kate's fashion sense throughout the years has remained classic and sensible. Our fashion teams at People love that Kate will sometimes rewear outfits. She always looks so poised, so put together. Rule number 3, know your causes and avoid controversy. We all know that Kate has been very active with the charities that she supports. Most recently, she launched the permanent version of her Back to Nature garden. Smith says that she and William have adopted causes that can resonate with a large portion of the population and have not sought to take controversial positions. Rule number 4, embrace the countryside and your in-laws. Maybe that's a good rule for everyone. Kate has made it known how much she values the outdoors and appreciating nature. This came easy to her seeing that she grew up in Berkshire. Finally, rule number 5, be a supportive spouse. Smith says Kate is secure enough without feeling compelled to overshadow William. We agree that she supports her own causes, but is always there to support William as well. They seem to have a great working relationship when it comes to that kind of thing. For today's question of the day, guys, we're going to kind of talk about the rules a little more.
We want to know, which of these rules do you think is most important for Kate to follow? Answer in our People poll or tweet us your thoughts with the hashtag PeopleNow.
We're going to check in on those results in a little bit. We're going to break down how Kate is managing her dual roles of motherhood and future queen. There's a lot to balance there. That's coming up later in the show. For now, though, we move on to this. Kim Kardashian West owns every red carpet she walks on, but even as one of the most confident and poised women, Kim admits she still struggles with body insecurity sometimes. When People sat down with the Keeping Up with the Kardashian star to discuss her newly launched shapewear, Skims Solution Wear, she opened up about boosting her confidence in moments of insecurity, which she says she experiences all the time. She tells us, "I do have cellulite. I'm photographed all the time. For me, I always use it as motivation. Even when people are really unjustly critical, I want to just work harder to figure out why I'm feeling that way." Kim remembers a specific moment years back when she was photographed and noticed cellulite on her thighs. She reacted saying, "I do not like how I look. I'm going to get to the gym." Well, now the business mogul tries to be easy on herself, admitting, quote, "You're never going to be perfect." And she continues saying, "I think life is about being happy and being confident." Well, her new shapewear line has helped with building her confidence too. She tells us, "I use shapewear as a solution to my styling needs. I always wanted something that would smooth and sometimes not necessarily change my shape." Kim says that Skims has been a long time coming and was inspired by her experiences wearing every other shapewear brand on the market for over a decade. But here's the true test. What do the Kardashian sisters think of Kim's new line? Well, Kim tells People they genuinely love it, which makes her so proud since they are all different shapes and sizes. So with Kim's new Skims line, obtaining her law degree and being a mom of 4 children, under 6, and her million other jobs, how does she kind of just chill and relax? Well, Kim reveals to us that she recently got into CBD. She makes it clear that she is not a weed smoker, but she loves CBD. She says it's gotten her through a lot. Now, if you remember, Kim even hosted a CBD-themed baby shower earlier this year ahead of baby Psalm West's arrival, which was the most Kardashian thing I've ever heard of. So there you go. It works. You guys, stay with us later in the show. We'll be discussing Kim's life as a mom of 4, plus how she used to read the evidence books of former family friend O.J. Simpson's infamous trial. There's a lot to unpack there. Stick around for that. All right, Britney Spears reportedly fears losing custody of her 13-year-old sons, Sean and Jaden James. The reports follow some concerning news that Spears' ex-husband and the father of her 2 kids, Kevin Federline, filed a police report claiming that Spears' father, Jamie Spears, abused their son, Sean. A source close to Spears tells People that there was physical contact that made Sean scared. The incident allegedly took place at Jamie's home while Britney's sons were visiting. The source says, quote, "Jamie asked something of Sean that he wasn't interested in doing. Sean ended up locking himself in a room." The source then adds that, quote, "Jamie got angry and acted inappropriately." A source tells People that Britney is upset with her father, can't believe her dad would jeopardize her relationship with her boys. The source adding Britney is always terrified she'll lose custody. The August 24th incident resulted in Jamie agreeing to temporarily step down as Spears' co-conservator 2 weeks after the alleged altercation. As of September 9th, Jamie was overseeing her finances, physical and mental health for over a decade. According to Federline's lawyer, Mark Vincent Kaplan, a week after the alleged incident, Federline and Spears came to a new custody agreement where Spears now has 10% custody while her ex has 90%, before they split custody 50-50. Despite that change in custody, Kaplan says Federline still wants their sons to have a continuing and meaningful contact with their mother. Now, this has been a tough year for Britney Spears, who voluntarily sought treatment at a wellness facility in April following a career break to help care for her father after he ruptured his colon last fall. For now, Spears' longtime care manager, Jody Montgomery, will act as her conservator. That's until the end of January. However, despite all of this, Britney does still have the support of her loved ones and is continuing to put her family first. The source says Britney's boys are back in school. She's hoping that what happened between Jamie and Sean won't affect her spending time with them. That source adding, she loves her boys. Well, we wish all of them the best in everything they're going through. We've got an update on a story about a young boy being bullied that is going to make your day today. A University of Tennessee t-shirt inspired by that young boy's design is selling like hotcakes. The campus bookstore has gotten more than 16,000 pre-orders for the college colors shirt since the university started selling them last week. According to the school's director of media relations, demand for the shirt was so high, the store's website actually crashed. The popular tee was designed by a Florida elementary school student who loves Tennessee football. He didn't have anything to wear to his school's College Colors Day, so he drew his own version with the school's logo on a piece of paper, pinned it to an orange shirt. His teacher revealed on Facebook that the boy was so proud of that homemade shirt, but then he was devastated because other kids made fun of it. The teacher's post went viral, being shared more than 10,000 times, grabbing the attention of the University of Tennessee. who sent a box full of shirts, hats, and other school memorabilia to the boy. Such a great move. So glad they did that. And the boy shared the items with his classmates, by the way. As for the homemade t-shirt, even Smokey, the university's mascot's loving it. He made his own version. You can see that. How great. The school isn't profiting from the hot new item, which sells for $14.99. It is donating the profits to the charity Stomp Out Bullying.
I love that.
I'm so glad that all played out the way it did, and the boy's getting supported by everyone, including the university.
I know. I think it's so sweet that he came up with the design and everything and pinned it to his shirt.
Kids are so mean.
I know.
Oh my gosh. All right, here we go. Kicking off Star Treks with Andrea Boehlke. Here she is, everybody.
Kicking off with a love story for the ages. This is a very sweet story here. Chance the Rapper and his love, Kirsten, have known one another for nearly 16 years, a story he happily recounted while on Ellen on Tuesday. According to the Grammy winner, he first saw Kirsten when he was just 9 years old at his mom's office Christmas party.
So my mom worked at a real estate agency with her mom, and her mom threw like a Christmas party, and her daughters loved to dance, and so they did like a choreographed dance at this real estate party that I was at, and I was 9. And I saw her dancing, and I was like, let's get married.
He knew it when he was 9. When asked how Kirsten has impacted his life, Chance said that she has been with him since before he was successful. Now, he first shared the story of how they met in a series of tweets in March, just days before the two walked down the aisle. He even had a photo of Kirsten taken from that first encounter in 2003. In the tweets, the rapper explained that he locked eyes with the prettiest girl he had ever seen while Kirsten and her friends were doing a routine to Independent Women Part 1 by Destiny's Child at around 9 years old. Chance wrote, quote, "I really shouldn't even say locked eyes because really I was just staring at her as she and her girls were conquering this choreography and mastering the art of lip syncing in a way that even the most professional performers have yet to accomplish."
I love that.
So cute. Chance and Kirsten officially began dating in 2013. After welcoming their daughter Kensley in 2015, the pair split in 2016 before reconciling the next year. After getting back together, Chance popped the question on July 4th, 2018 at a family barbecue in their native Chicago. He confirmed the engagement the same day as the proposal, simply tweeting, "She said yes." And their marriage just got sweeter. Just last week, Kirsten gave birth to their second baby girl, Marley Grace Bennett. Chance tells Ellen, "I have a fresh baby. I can't take all the credit, but I was there. I love her." Chance also revealed on his social media that he has chosen to delay his upcoming tour for his album, The Big Day, saying in part, "This year has been one of the greatest of my life, but with it being so eventful, it has also been very strenuous, having to divide my time and energy between family and work. When Kensley was born, I went on tour 2 weeks later, missed some of the most important milestones in her life, but more importantly, I was absent when her mother needed me the most." I really like that he's taking some family time, and really nice to hear from him. All right, now watch this.
I said, LOL, what a president. All right.
Chrissy Teigen is opening up about her Twitter exchange with Donald Trump just days after the president called her filthy mouth and attacked her, quote, boring husband, John Legend. I would say I don't think he's very boring. In a new interview on the Ellen DeGeneres show, Teigen admits that although she has said a lot of things about Trump in the past, she was surprised to learn the president included her in his rant. The mother of two explained that Trump's tweets came after John had been interviewed for a story on MSNBC about criminal justice reform, which Chrissy had not even participated in. Chrissy explained that she and John spent the rest of the night passing their phones back and forth, asking each other, should I say this? Should I say this? No. Should I say this? No, it has to be funnier. No, because we're mad. After her tweet, Chrissy and John tried to get hashtag bleep, bleep, bleep president trending on Twitter, but had to settle for PAB president due to obvious reasons. I'll let you guys figure out what the letters stand for. And Chrissy may be the queen of sass on Twitter, but she explained to Ellen exactly why she was surprised to read the tweets. Watch.
But I had been so good for so long. I've been on such good behavior. I really think before I tweet lately because, I've gotten to this point where I don't want to offend people just for a joke.
You have to be careful, I guess. I mean, I understand you were angry and
It was a weird feeling. I was really angry. I think my eyes filled up with water just at the shock of it, that I can't believe this really happens right now. He just goes on these rants, and usually very late at night for him, you just wait for him to say something, but you don't think it's going to be you, and then but then it goes into, you realize why you love Twitter and you love your friends. I had so many group chats going that night of just hilarious people and people making funny videos, sending to me. So then you laugh about it.
I think she handled it very well. All right, now we switch gears to this. Watch. This is great. Jennifer Lopez came in like a wrecking ball with Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show Tuesday night for a segment called The History of Music Video Dancing. The duo danced it out to a number of songs, including Sia's hit Chandelier with the wigs and everything. Also moved it like Beyonce to her classic Single Ladies. Things even got a little steamy for this year's Camila Cabello and Shawn Mendes hit Senorita before breaking into dance for J.Lo's own hit Waiting for Tonight. Jimmy's actually got some moves here.
And a huge music budget.
Yeah, he really let loose for Billie Eilish's hit Bad. They bopped around in these yellow hoodies. I love their use of props throughout each number too. There were some wigs, some treadmills, confetti, a lot more. And after their very fun dancing, J.Lo sat down with the host to talk about her upcoming stripper film, Hustlers. She's already getting a ton of awards buzz for it. Clearly, she's a good dancer, but J.Lo also revealed that she struggled to learn how to pole dance, had to ask Cardi B for some help. Take a look.
It was super hard. I remember I called Cardi's in the movie as well, Cardi B, and she, I was like, you have to be in this movie.
And she's like,
you know this world.
Yeah, it's like
You know this world.
Okay.
You could teach us. And she was like, and I was like, but I'm learning how to pole dance. I said, it is really hard. This is really hard. She goes, oh yeah. It took me years to master. She goes, but now I'm great at it.
Just seeing these interviews and everything, I'm so excited to see that movie.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, those are your Star Treks for today.
All right, guys, stay with us. You're gonna be surprised to hear just how early Kim Kardashian West's passion for criminal justice began. We have all the details on that. Plus, the star of The Goldfinch, Oakes Fegley, will join us live. We all saw this powerful movie this team did. We cannot wait to talk to him about that. That's coming up.
When you think about wedding plans and Jennifer's your partner, all you do is you do a lot of nodding.
Yeah, Alex Rodriguez revealing some details about his upcoming wedding to Jennifer Lopez. During his Tuesday appearance on GMA3, Strahan, Sarah, and Kiki, A-Rod was asked if any of the couple's exes will be present during that ceremony, and he revealed it will not be an ex-free zone.
He explained the wedding is all-inclusive, the more the merrier. So, I don't know, it lends to the question, would you do this?
Yeah,
Did you have exes at your wedding, Jeremy?
Actually, an ex was in the wedding party, but that's a long
Wow.
story. Anyway, it can happen, it can work.
I mean, we know A-Rod has a great relationship with J.Lo's ex, Mark Anthony, so he's probably going to be there.
Yeah, they attend family events together. Just this past May, A-Rod sat between Mark and Jennifer during their son Max's school recital. He shared this video of him with the former couple on Instagram.
Yeah, all getting along. And during his daughter Natasha's graduation, the blended family took this snapshot with his ex-wife Cynthia. So definitely a nice gesture. They really are this blended family, seem to put their kids first and include them.
Other details about the couple's big day that A-Rod spilled include the menu and dances. The former All-Star says ballpark franks are going to be served up in honor of his baseball background. I love that.
It's a nice personal touch.
Yeah.
Would you do that, Jeremy?
Well, I wouldn't have a reason, but it makes sense for him to do it. And by the way, I think they're going to do it in a way that's still pretty exclusive and classy and great because it's their
Classy
wedding.
hot dogs.
Classy hot dogs.
Yeah.
He also says that Jennifer isn't planning on choreographing their first dance, saying Jen doesn't choreograph anything. She's a savant when it comes to all that stuff.
Yeah, it's J.Lo. She doesn't really need to choreograph anything. She's a natural. I like choreographed dances.
Yeah, would you like to do that? Like
Maybe.
one day?
It could be fun. One day.
No, I'm saying
one day, if the day ever comes.
whenever it happens.
Sure.
No, it'd be a fun thing to do, though.
Yeah, but I also think it's fun to kind of keep it, I don't know, I like a slow first dance. You don't really need to choreograph that.
If I had to do it again, I would do a choreographed, fun, fast dance and then do the slow
Then
dance.
it's extra pressure and stress when you're thinking about your move.
No, but fun, though, right? Like, everyone's there for it. Like,
Yeah,
woo!
okay.
All right.
Well, when it comes to where the wedding will be held, all he would reveal is that it's far away, saying, I got one clue for y'all. One wedding clue, it's gonna be a long flight.
So get the globe out, start like guessing regions. A-Rod also expects some tears on the big day, adding, quote, I didn't think I was a crier, but when I see my daughters do things, I end up crying over nothing. I think we'll both shed some tears. The lovebirds got engaged back in March after 2 years of dating.
All right, Kate Middleton is getting ready to become the future queen, and according to multiple sources, she's gaining more confidence in her role.
Joining us now is senior news editor Erin Hill with some insight into Kate's life. It's this week's People Covers story. Erin, thank you so much for being here and breaking this down for us.
Yeah, so multiple sources have revealed to People Kate is basically cementing herself as future queen. So what is she doing?
Yeah, so Kate is finding her voice. And as she has really grown as a mother of 3, she is finding passion and purpose in helping other mothers and children through a lot of her causes. So what we're seeing now is a more confident Kate. She's writing her own speeches now. She's really becoming an expert on the causes she's championing.
Yeah, and she is committed to learning about early childhood development. Tell us more about that and why that's a passion for her.
This has become her main focus, and largely because she is a mother. So these are causes that are directly important to her. And so she has been attending a lot of meetings for her patronages and organizations, some 3 hours long, and leaders in these organizations are saying they're amazed at her dedication and her attention to detail and the focus that she is bringing to this role, and she really wants to become an expert.
Yeah, and we've reported before, but she launched her permanent version of Back to Nature Garden. Why is this so important to her?
This is really born out of her own love of spending time outdoors during her childhood in the English countryside, and she has really instilled that in her own children, in George, Charlotte, and Louis. They spend a lot of time in the palace gardens, and she really just wanted to bring this to the public so other families can experience this, and she really believes that spending time outdoors fosters mental well-being, which is one of her key causes.
Yeah, we talk about this a lot in the Royal Record when we do it every week, but there are a lot of rules to follow when you're going to become the queen. There are expectations for sure and some things that are in place, some structure that's there. Was she aware of all this as she stepped into the role? I'm sure that's something that she knew was on the way down the road.
Yeah, I mean, Kate had almost a decade as William's girlfriend, so she had a front seat to the pressures and pitfalls of what it takes to be in the royal family.
And the specifics of it.
Exactly. So she knew very well what she was getting into around the time of her wedding, and she was well prepared. And sources say she's the perfect person for this. She has this really great temperament. She's a great support for William, who would be future king, so she's in the right role.
And how did her background help prepare her for life as a royal?
So growing up in English countryside with a close-knit family, these are, values that are really important to the royal family. The queen loves the outdoors. She's happiest when she's wearing her tweeds, she's out there with her horses. This is something she shares with Kate. And William has longed for a close family since losing his mother when he was so young. So Kate being really close to her parents, her siblings, William is as well, it all comes together.
And let's talk a little bit more about that. Raising kids in the spotlight in this way, she's also making efforts to kind of incorporate her own childhood and the way she was raised into their lives. How's she doing that?
Yeah, she really wants as much normalcy as she can for these kids. I mean, we're seeing that as when they bring Charlotte to school, she's holding her hand right up to the door, they're carrying their backpacks. They're known as George and Charlotte Cambridge in school, trying to make it as normal as possible. They're doing their homework at night with them, spending times outdoors. So she's following the tradition, of course, that's set by the queen, which is really important to her, but she's bringing in her own values and traditions, like having parents along, her parents for the outings to watch George and Charlotte. So she's creating this perfect mix of both.
All right, before you go, we've been asking our viewers which rule for becoming queen do you think is most important for Kate to follow? So let's take a look at our People poll results. I'm curious which one's gonna lead here. Be humble and discreet. Okay.
I think people like that because it's just good advice for life.
Yeah, and
Isn't it?
It's probably good that have a consistent style is last, because I mean it's great.
It's
but
true. And no one's
if that would be first, I'd be concerned.
No one's more discreet than the queen herself, so for that to be, it makes sense why that's the rule.
But I will say, as I said earlier, becoming more and more challenging, right? Because of social media and everything else, harder to kind of keep the private life private.
Yes.
So. Anyway, we'll be watching and talking about it. And guys, keep voting on the People poll. Thank you so much, Aaron, for being here. To read more on Kate, pick up People on Newsstands Friday.
All right, we are continuing to keep up with Kim Kardashian West. This time, we're getting the details on her upcoming law degree. So in a recent interview with Vogue Arabia, Kim revealed she wants to move her family to Wyoming and practice law. Kim kickstarted her future career as a lawyer last summer with a 4-year apprenticeship with a law firm in San Francisco. Now, her goal is taking the bar exam in 2022. With a lucrative career, why go into law? Well, she credits her father, the late Robert Kardashian. He was an entertainment lawyer.
Yeah, Kim tells us, my dad always knew I was interested in law school. He said being a lawyer was way too stressful as a full-time job, so I'd really have to think about it. Kim adds that while her father was working on the infamous O.J. Simpson case in the 90s, she'd go through the evidence books. Her father was a close friend of O.J.'s at the time. He was part of the Dream Team. Kim says Courtney would always yell at her to get out of his stuff and ask why she cared. Kim was only 14 at the time, kind of an unlikely passion for a teen, but Kim tells People she learned a lot from her father, telling her about the O.J. trial as it went on. And she adds, now I want to become a lawyer to help people who can't really help themselves.
Yeah, with all that's going on in her life these days, we had to find out how mom life is going for Kim. Now, she has 4 kids now, daughter North, son Saint, daughter Chicago, and newborn son Psalm West. When asked how being a mom of 4 is, Kim admits it's exhausting, I can imagine. When it comes to baby Psalm, she adds that everyone loves him and everyone is helpful.
We're just trying to build little bits of the puzzle.
What do you remember about the incident?
I like this one.
Look at the map. Where were you when it happened?
I don't remember.
When you came around, did you see people?
Yes.
What were they doing?
They were dead.
The Goldfinch is one of the most anticipated films of the year. It features a star-studded cast. It follows the story of a young boy in the aftermath of a tragic event that will change the course of his life forever.
And playing that young boy is actor Oakes Fegley, who joins us now. Oakes, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love watching you watch you. What goes through your mind when you watch a scene like that play out?
It's kind of crazy. It's a weird feeling. I don't really like actually watching myself. Really? I'm always like, that's ass. That's terrible. And I don't like it.
Is it kind of like could have done this, could have done that?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
reevaluate the scene?
Yeah, exactly. I could have done better, or could have been different in different situations.
Well, you're a true artist, and I will tell you, we just saw this last night. As I said, we loved it. You do such a great job. Congratulations on that. Premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival. I've been there a couple times. That is a whirlwind of an experience. Talk to me about your time there.
It is. It was my second time in Toronto ever, which was great. And I had a little bit more time this time.
Yeah.
And it was my first TIFF, so exciting. And it's a great experience. And just being able to be there with that film and be around all those amazing people was quite an experience.
Yeah, how did TIFF compare to other music or film festivals that you've been to?
I mean, it's very different and it's absolutely massive. It felt very different because it's just in such an incredible city, and I mean, I really like a lot of different places in Canada and Toronto especially.
Can we just point this out? We are always into the fashion of the red carpet, and you look really sharp at
Thank
TIFF.
you.
I don't know how much, say, you get into this wardrobe thing, but my goodness, you're nailing it. It's a look every time. What do you want in a look when it comes to picking out the clothes?
I mean, I'm definitely down for like the suit look, and I like a nice tie and just a simple
Look at this, the
blazer,
stripe there, so nice.
But yeah, no, Ansel and
rocking
I
it.
actually have the same stylist, so.
Do you?
Yeah, my stylist John, he picks out a lot of different things, like a big amount, and then he'll let me go in and kind of pick out what I like and what interests me in the clothes.
Yeah. Well, I would like a sized up that
That is really-
jacket
I don't know.
after this, please.
I think you rock it well. I'm not sure.
Okay, in the right situation. This is what. See.
No,
Okay.
you look
I try.
Let's get into your character. So, for those that haven't read the book, you play the younger version of Ansel Elgore's character.
Yes.
His name is Theo Decker.
Yes.
So, how did you go about creating this character? And did you talk to Ansel? I know you guys obviously don't interact in the film.
Yeah. I know for a fact John, our director, didn't really want us to connect too much while making the film, and he wanted us to kind of stay separate for a lot of it because, after all, we are two different roles, and I think it plays well, and it really shows, and through editing, the continuity between us really looks awesome, and I'm really proud to be able to say that I'm the young Ansel.
Yeah, and the acting is amazing, but also I was telling Jeremy, you two look alike too.
We do. I mean, I think we do.
Yeah. No, it works really, really well. Look, obviously you're an actor. You get the script. You become the character.
Yeah.
But this is heavy subject matter. Your character goes through something really traumatic. How do you get into that mindset and that headspace?
I mean, every actor's different, but just trying to put yourself in those circumstances and trying to kind of think in that way and just put yourself in that mindset. I mean, I know it's kind of difficult to.
Does that affect your whole life while you're doing it, or are you able to compartmentalize it? Kind of
No,
like, all
I
right,
mean,
I'm on set.
I'm different than the character when it comes down to it, so I'm not too changed offset. But I mean, it's exhausting physically because just being upset and putting yourself in that mindset does like kind of take a toll on you physically a little bit. But I mean, once you get a good night's rest, you can come back and have a good day the next day.
Yeah, right.
And it's a lot of heavy material, but what was your favorite thing about playing your character?
Definitely have to say just meeting everyone on the film and working with so many incredible names and incredible people. I mean, yeah, just it was an incredible set to be around. So many awesome people.
Yeah, we're going to ask about Nicole Kidman. Obviously, among many other cast members, you have a decent amount of time with her as well. What's your takeaway from that experience? When you're hanging out with your friends, what are you saying about working with Nicole Kidman?
Nicole is a really, really interesting person. She is super, super nice and warm and motherly. So working with her was awesome, and I'd love to work with her again sometime. And she's just an incredible person to be around.
I love the scenes with you and Finn Wolfhard. I mean, he had the accent, the vibe. You guys are getting into some trouble. Were you a fan of Stranger Things before working with him?
I am. I'm a fan of Stranger Things. I haven't watched enough of Stranger Things 3. I don't think I've even started Stranger Things 3 yet. But yeah, it's an interesting show. It's got a lot of really cool things about it.
What was that like working with Finn, though, especially with some of those scenes where you guys are kind of partying it up?
Yeah, I mean, Finn's character is a terrible influence.
Yeah.
So,
the worst influence.
Yeah. Terrible.
Yeah, he is truly not a good influence whatsoever. It's really fun to work with him. He's a really, really funny person and a really sarcastic guy, and just jokes around with everybody on set. So it's kind of brings out a lot of light, and it's really nice to see different actors working with John, our director, and just see how that kind of affected the film overall.
Did he stick with the accent the entire time? Even when like, hey, cut, we're just hanging out and going for dinner?
I mean, he would here and there, like maybe joking around. But I'm like, he trained a lot to get that accent right, and he had a lot of fun with it, just playing around, learning different words and all sorts of things like that.
Yeah, well,
did you pick up on the accent at all? After the film, that's all Jerry and I
wish
could
I
do.
had, because it would be an interesting thing.
Yeah. Your former Pete's Dragon co-star, Bryce Dallas Howard, also premiered her directorial debut, a documentary called Dads at TIFF in Toronto while you were there. You didn't get to see Dads.
Did not get to see it.
But you did connect with her, though, right?
I did. So we were at a party, and my sister, who was with me at the time, was like, Oakes, it's Bryce. And I was like, no way. And then we got together and we hugged for a very long time. And then took some photos and just talked about you know, how she was doing and how I was doing, and she's such an awesome person. Yeah.
I might be biased because my little girls love that movie, but I feel like that was a really special project. Like it reads on screen as something very special.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's great to work with Disney, and they're awesome, and just being part of that world and being part of a film that I know made a lot of kids and a lot of people happy was really awesome.
Yeah, and is it true you did your own stunts for Pete's Dragon?
I did all my own stunts for Pete's Dragon.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it was great. I had a lot of doubles, but ultimately I did do all my own stunts, which was really cool.
Do you have a favorite stunt or memory from that
Yes.
film? Yeah.
Actually. So all the stuff with there's a bus in the school bus. Mind you, I was 10 years old, so it was a while ago. But I was hanging onto the back of the bus and then on top of the bus, and then at one point jump off of a moving bus onto a stationary car and then like kind of roll off of it.
That's really impressive, actually.
That was a lot of fun. And,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I'm harnessed in during all that stuff, but it was really cool to kind of.
You in real life, are you an adrenaline junkie type? Like, do you like to do things that are exciting? Do you have hobbies that are sort of exciting and?
I ski.
Okay.
And I skate. So I skateboard, but I'm not like crazy good at skateboarding. I'm kind of just recently got into that. So.
All right. Where do you ski? Like, where's your favorite place?
Do I ski?
Yeah.
So I live in Pennsylvania, and all around the Poconos, there's some cool hills to ski there, and I'm not too bad at skiing. I'm actually okay at skiing, but
I think that counts as like a thrilling hobby.
Yeah,
for sure.
no, for sure.
I mean, at such a young age, you had this impressive resume already. When was the moment that you knew you wanted to act?
That's difficult, but I would say I always looked up to my sister, and my whole family is actors, and we are all kind of supportive of acting, and she did a lot of community theater when I was younger, and watching her up on stage and doing that kind of thing just kind of sparked an interest for me, and made me think I could do something like that one day. So I think I have to credit that to my sister.
Yeah, and it's always the kind of thing where when we have actors in, we think like, what would you be doing if you weren't acting? What do you think your family would think you would be doing if you weren't acting? They know you better than anyone.
I have no idea. I really
do.
Don't.
You have any?
I have no clue.
Yeah, this is the thing. Well, it's working.
I've been acting for a while now, so I mean, I used to be really interested in like architecture, and I was a big Lego and like blocks kid, so that was always interesting to me. But I think something in the arts definitely.
Yeah.
All right, as we go down your list of hobbies, we hear you're a video game enthusiast.
I
Do you have
am.
a favorite
Not
game?
recently. I haven't been playing very much. I just been starting school and haven't had too much time. But here and there, I do like to play some games.
If there was a game that was turned into a feature film,
Yes.
what would you want it to be, and would you want to be a part of it?
That's a difficult question because there are a lot of cool ones.
They've done some some of those sort of like video game inspired movies for sure.
Yeah, I mean, recently I think there was a Tomb Raider recently and a couple other ones.
I was a big
Oh,
Halo
no.
guy. I think we could probably
that could
connect
happen
and
sometime.
I could take you down in Blood Gulch, but whatever.
I really don't know. That's a difficult question. There's
Okay.
so many cool things that could happen.
Yeah.
I know recently there's a game out called Cyberpunk, which looks really interesting, and that looks like it could be kind of cinematic at one point.
Okay.
Kind of Blade Runner-y.
Putting the note out. Make it happen. Let's. Hey, we have time for a little game called a confess sesh. You ready for this?
All right.
People now confess sesh. You just draw a question from the jar.
All right.
Random questions that have been submitted by someone, and answer as honestly as you can. You ready? Here we go.
Here we go. What actor or actress do you hope to work with one day? Definitely have to say I'm a huge fan of Mahershala Ali. I think his work is incredible, and it'd be really awesome to one day even just do something small with him or just meet him sometime.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have to go with Leonardo DiCaprio, and watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I'm like, wow, this guy is absolute pro and just incredibly, incredibly interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Definitely Leo.
You can see the pairing.
Keep going.
Time for more.
All right.
You're lucky. You're in luck.
All right.
Lucky day.
What movie have you seen the most? That's difficult. When I was a kid, or I guess I am still.
Way back. Way back in your youth.
I would have to say like at 6 and 7 years old, I had all the Star Wars DVDs and would just watch them all on repeat. And my dad grew up around Star Wars. He went to see the original Star Wars, which is now like Star Wars 4, I think.
Yeah.
17 times in theaters. So he literally went to theaters 17 times to go see it with his brothers. And
wow.
He was a huge Star Wars fan. So obviously it was really revolutionary, and so he was really interested in that, and he had all these action figures. So growing up, I used to play with them, and we had like Millennium Falcon and all these cool like retro like things from like the 80s, and it was really awesome to be able to play with those. So I would have to go with like Star Wars, I think, is the one that I would go to.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I watch Game of Thrones episodes on repeat.
Oh, you did a repeat of them.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you have a favorite Game of Thrones character?
Ooh.
That's a
I
tough
mean, Jon Snow is like go-to, but at the same time, I don't know. There's so many cool characters in Game of Thrones. I love the Hound, and all the people who go through like that, those different like character arcs. They kind of just make you think: is this guy a bad guy or a good guy, or
Right. The split loyalty. Like, who
good or
should I
bad,
like?
you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
who knows? And those characters are kind of the most interesting sometimes.
Time for one more.
One more. Here we go. I think there's 2 more here. What's your favorite hobby? I have to go skating.
Yeah.
I mean, recently I've been skating a lot with my friends, so yeah, I'd go skating. We have a lot of fun. So
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
Oaks, thank you so much for joining us.
It's great to talk to you about everything. Yeah.
Really nice
Good to-
meeting you
good to
guys.
speak
You guys make sure to see The Goldfinch when it hits theaters Friday, September 13th.
All right, coming up tomorrow, the winner of People's World's Cutest Rescue Dog Contest is going to be here. Oaks, please come back. You can pet the dog. The dog is actually adorable, so come back for that.
Plus, Real Housewives of Dallas star Leanne Locken also joins us live, and she's unloading on all of this week's Bravo drama. Thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from Daphne Zuniga. Bye.
Bye, guys.
I'm Daphne Zuniga, and this is One Last Thing. My last date night was a couple weeks ago, an intimate dinner with my husband. The last thing I Googled was actors on Yellowstone. The last song stuck in my head is the Jonas Brothers' Sucker.
It's true, I'm a sucker for you. Yeah.